Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the alteration for the Jegan Blast Master. So in terms of this overall unit, I don't think there's a whole lot I kind of need to talk about. So I guess the first thing to talk about, this unit does not have any link attribute. So just like the Atlas Earth 3 from 2 weeks ago, this one, starting out, if you put this one on the front slot, it's gonna be suffering 6% loss in terms of all attack, right? If you compare anything to like Strike Noir, like High New, Strike Freedom, like even Kasatria, Nightingale, they all had link attributes. So if you put them on the front slot, they are going to be 6% stronger than if you put this one on the main slot for say. So that is going to be the first thing to mention. And then the second thing to mention, this overall unit has 4 EX skill right off the bat, and those EX skill aren't anything too crazy, not like really like exceptional EX skill animation. Like if we take a look at the head part all the way to the arms, like they are very generic EX skill animation that we have seen numerous times already. The head part is from the Double Zeta, the torso is just like Strike Freedoms, the arm looks just like the H3 Fortress. So you're not getting a whole lot of new stuff going on. The legs can be said otherwise, because at least it does give you that front camera angle where it resembles to how it was in the show, so I'll give you that. But otherwise, like head part to the arms is pretty much the stat sticking. It does not provide anything else besides that. So alteration for them, if you guys only did single summons, or you guys did one multi summons, and then you guys were able to pull, I don't know, 5 parts in total, like I feel like head part, torso, and arms don't really need the alteration because they're primarily EX skill, so they are good to go. Unless you guys are looking at a stat and wow, they're so high, or they're like really good and whatnot. Trust me, like a month or two later on, they're gonna drop something better, and this one is pretty much gonna get power crap in a way. Unless the other thing is you really like the Jegan Blast Master, you are obsessed with how great the unit looks and all that, then that's an exception. Otherwise, there's not really much to talk about in this unit, unfortunately. So I guess where I want to start from the back part. So the back part actually looks pretty promising. The stat may not be all that great and whatnot. I think in general the back part currently does not really have some of the higher stats compared to like your other categories, so, or your other part selections. So yeah, but the back part is good because it does offer another buff, but this one is just not like your basics buff. This one is actually a squad version, so anyone within your team, like in a, let's say if your own squad, your squad allies are able to get it, or if you're talking about running in multi missions, your whoever you party with they are able to take advantage of that 40% as well. So that is good. This one as well, they are able to take advantage of. So back part I feel like has a lot of potential, so that's why I do want to point this one out first. This one is definitely one of the best part of the set. So heavy armor is definitely looking pretty solid so far. I feel like the only thing that we are missing for a new transition is if we ever get a shield part that gives us similar things, like similar property, but just like all general purposes for the buff effects. And then maybe if they want to lock a specific war tag wise, I feel like maybe Ace of Suits that would be good. But so far I feel like the back part right now is really solid. It could be meta changing, give or take a month or two later when we have better shield to kind of work with, because right now the best combo right now you could be looking at Nature Liberator back part with the shield. So those two combo is working seamlessly right now. So we're still waiting for the same thing, but with a more generalized shield part, and then we'll be solid. We'll be cooking by then. The other one is the beam rifle. So the beam rifle is actually, I'll call it exceptional. Style wise, it's actually not that bad. You're only like, roughly about 1,000 off from the first parts. And even this one is like, I would say it's an anomaly, because this one only gives you a 20% squad charge. So in a solo content, this one will probably not be sufficient enough. So this one, that's why I say this one is like anomaly, is not really too important. So from the rest, you're only 300 off. So I call this one a W already. This one is not that bad. Both conditions are going to be under heavy armors. This one is going to be squat, while this one is not. But 28% in non-attribute centric, this is good. So for those who have been running, let's say, heavy armor, this one is definitely a solid option for the EXQ cooldown. I believe starting out should be at 18%. That is a valued package right there. 18% is actually quite good. So in terms of the investment, you probably do 1 or 2 level, you should be within 20% percentage already. So you're rocking. Yeah, you're once again cooking. So so that's why I said the backport and the rifle are probably the MPV of the overall set. The other one, I'm just like, man, I'm just over here like, oh yeah, they got great stats. Yeah, that's great. But a few months later, these are gonna get power crap. So yeah, this one is gonna be the high mega cannon. So this one does give you debuff, so that's pretty cool. But like I said again, in terms of this types of EX skill style, is those EX skill that vomit like a bajillion beam attack to your enemy. If your build is somewhat adequate with, you know, good power boosted, good portrait, whatnot, you are gonna be one-shotting the enemy already. So having debuff means no debuff if the enemy is down. So kind of simple as that. So I don't think it's really that great. So right now, the only good thing I can say, since this one is a not big scale, so this one is going to be a perfect sub-slot battery to anything that pertains to high firepower, and the Ace of Suicide with big scale. So I'm looking at Strike Freedom. This one fits the build perfectly, so not bad. But what else would I use besides this one? How about the new Gundam? This one's pretty much offering the same thing with a little bit of a higher stat, so you kind of get the point right there. So high stat don't really mean anything when the other side of it, the EX skill, is not too crazy, no new animation, you know, the effects kind of like, what's going on? Like, I can't really use this because they know you want to shot them already, so why do we need it? You can kind of argue again, if you are fighting against a tank, you may not want to shot them, so that's fine. There's so many ways you can kind of argue whether or not a part is good. It really all depends on how you're using it. In my personal build, I'm going to show you guys that I will be one-shotting the enemy, so in terms of me, I consider this effects not even there. So that's what I have to say about the head part. Just not really great for the alteration. If you guys do have to pick to what to alterate, definitely not the head part, so I'll give you guys that. What about the torso? The torso is actually not that bad. The thing I would say that's great about this one is the physical resistance. So this one could be very usable whenever we have a physical resistance mode. So that can usually take a look into how many physical stat you're looking at to determine how many extra bonus assessment points you're getting. So at that point in time, I would consider the Jegan Blast Master Torso to be a very good candidate. But if you're talking about any general things for now, it's not that great. This one, EX wise, is going to be the same thing as the Strike Freedom, so no surprises there, with the exception of melee attack down and then beam resistant down. So this one is an EX skill that you should alterate in terms of trying to get the maximum power output, because I believe this one should be starting out at the power. But I think that is actually great, because if you're not able to successfully one-shot the enemy, that is where the attack down and the beam resistance is gonna part you in to allow you to take less melee damage if you want to go that route. But I think that should be fun for a friend battle type, because you definitely do want to experience everything. So yeah, but otherwise this one is not too effective if you can one-shot the enemy. So yeah, I don't know why they did that. Have no idea, but it's good to have it, I guess, in a way. Now going back to the arm, so the arm is actually quite exceptional in terms of stat for the current time being. I will not say the same in the near future. This one may be power crept, but this one right now, currently, we do have Ace Exclusive and then high firepower. So you can definitely take a look into the roster to see are there anything that is both Ace Exclusive with high firepower with big scale property. That's gonna be a good sub slot. And unfortunately, it would not be the High Gundam, because the High Gundam has the EX skill on its arm already, so not the best combo. So primarily speaking, I don't even think we have that many great of a what is it, arm EXQ or arm part trait. So that is kind of unfortunate, I would have to say. So yeah, so the arm parts may not be that great. This one, in terms of the EXQ, you don't need the alteration to hit hard. This one just right now is A+, but I think originally it should be sitting at B power, so I think that is sufficient enough already. So in terms of the EXQ animation style, pretty much the same thing as the H3 Fortress, so not gonna be crazy. So that's pretty much what I have for this one. So yeah, let's move on to the legs, the last thing to kind of briefly talk about. So the legs is gonna be that brand new EXQ. This one is actually quite nice, I guess, in a way. It does kind of show you how many beam attacks is gonna be, you know, shooting out and all that, so that's kind of cool. This one is gonna be actually lower power, E+ only. That's kind of sad. They call it the full blast mode, but I don't really feel it. Right, unless this one is looking at a S power. I don't know if I'm feeling that or not, but this one does actually give you a 64% shot attack up, so that's kind of hot. And then another shot skill cooldown instantly down by 23%, so that's great. I currently do not have the legs, so I'm not gonna be able to showcase that off for you guys, but I think that is pretty much it. So I think Jegan Blastmaster is a simple unit that revolves around simple word stacks that you use for shooting based units, so you can definitely see how you can do some subslotting, because this one, trust me, it's not going to be great for front slots because you don't have blink attribute, so you are innately losing out 6% all power boost already. That's quite unfortunate. So back part, rifle, I think they're looking pretty promising thus far right now, but time will only tell to see if they can last outpace the meta. But other than that, that's pretty much what I have for you guys, and then I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.